4 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, end of April. Gonna just start up milking. Emma's just gonna get the cows in. I'll just turn the pot on, fire that, and the first lot of cows just walking on in now. I'm gonna let them in and let's go. I'm on a spring calving unit parlour today. Tim's got the morning off. She's all ready to run, boys. Just got to wait for a few more cows to come in the yard and then we'll get going. If I let them in too early as she's getting them in, because they're coming along the front here, then they're just standing there. So I've got to let her get a good 100 in first. One's gone under the rope already, under the bar. 2 coffees this morning, still 1. Here they are, they're coming in now. Right, so 21 days ago, we put some eggs in the incubator, what we've got, little incubator. And the 21 days is up. And this morning, we've got some chicks. So what we got? You're gonna pop them in this little pen. There's 1. Right, one's just hatched. I'll show 1. Right, so if you get them out quick and we'll shut them back up, let that other one dry out because he's wet, they hatch wet. So those are a little bit early because we put them in Sunday night, didn't we, 3 weeks ago? Nice and careful. Right, shut that back up, Henry. So you want the warmth? Yeah, put him under the heat plate.
Okay, Henry.
It's vital they keep nice and warm. There we go. Is it nice and warm in there?
Yeah.
Right, maybe come too long. They seem to be alright. So they're Peking bantams, so they should have furry legs. They're very small, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're under there. I'll get a better view of that. There we go. Right, and we'll let that one in there. We should have some more today. We heard a lot of chirping and eggs rattling last night, so we thought we were going to see some action early this morning. And there we go. Hopefully have a few more. So 3 so far. See what happens. Well, I was just doing a short little clip because I heard the cuckoo going, but now I've turned the actual camera on, it's stopped. There's such a vast amount of grain we got on this all year round calving unit because it's all wet. I find if you're going to graze you need a lot of grain on wetter farm. This is drier up here, but it's still not dry compared up on the spring unit. Loads of grass up here. This is our highest point too. So it's a misty day, but down there is the farm right in the distance. It's not far as a crow flies, but going around the tracks, it's about a quarter of a mile. And then you've got all over there, that's Shepton Manor right over there. Brother's farm's just over that wood. And then over that wood you've got Sherborne and whatnot. On a clear day you can see the hills out the back of Sherborne, like going up, heading towards Dorchester. I've got a cow and calf there. I've got to get in back to the holding pen, get the cattle box and take it home. So it's actually harder having the dry case out than having them in, but it saves us on a lot of silage and a lot of straw. And up here we find, I don't know if anybody else finds, or it's literally just us or us thinking, but the cows always seem to calve better when they're on a hill. I don't know why, but we seem to have, like, you know, we've had a good couple of years up here. See that dry weather we had last year, we've had a bit of gorse start growing, what you want to get rid of really, because it's right in the middle of the field. But before our time, like way before our time, so-called this hill here was all just completely full of gorse till grandfather come along and scrubbed it all. So we've just done a fence all along this wood on the grant, all the way around there, down through there. Real long, real hard going it was, pair of fencing done it. It's quite hard going because it's all so up and down. So a right challenge, but we've done a really good job. 2 strands barbed wire. And they double enforced hit strainers on all the corners and that. Really smart job. The rain is just about to start coming in. Hopefully we don't have too much because we've had enough now. We've got a bit of whole crop to go in yet, so we don't really want to, you know, it's getting a bit late. But I found we did do a bit 5th of May once and it grew really, really well. There we go, you hear that? Ah, it's a cuckoo. Right, I got her on a our holding pen. The cow sat down. Shot back, got a truck in the box. I forgot to put a bit of straw in the box actually, because they walk out easier and like with a bit of straw on the tailboard and whatnot, even a cow like this. because she is a bit milk fevery. That's why I had to get up here bright and early, because this is quite an oldish cow. Now what I find with cows and calves, getting cows and calves in, not sounding like no expert or not, but that's a long way. I got her from real far away, and I brought all the way back to here, and I could probably took her all the way home. When you go out there with a quad bike or whatever, really you want a quad trailer, but I didn't have it. It's up on the spring unit. I couldn't be asked going out there and get it. I put a calf on the quad bike on my lap, and then I just sat there for a good like 5 or 10 minutes, probably less, but it felt like that, and let the cow just sniff me all round to know that the calf is on my lap. And then I drove back very slowly. She did like go off point a little bit and turn around and run off, because I started speeding up when I got towards the wire over there. But then I like slowed up and got her to come back and follow me, and then I've brought her back in here, put the calf in here, cow in here. I'm going to drive in with a box in a minute and then load her up in that corner there. It's probably the hardest we get, getting a cow and calf in up on that ground, but like I said, it is wet and we can't have them too close to home. It's either out or in, and we've put them out because we want to clean all the sheds out and get all this shit out and whatnot. We might have to put them back in, but we'll see how it goes. Stand this calf up a minute. Right, there you go, she's alright. I just got to get in here now, load up. It's one job done for a day anyway. All the rest to turn up in a minute. Give me a hand, I expect. Hopefully she don't bugger off. We'll have to drive her nice and steady. Hopefully the gate stays open too. Right, go for it. Right, that's good enough. Put the tailboard down, get her in the shed. Might get a bottle on her. We're in our milk fever's down there, but the spring unit has been bloody horrendous this year. We've got a couple boxes like this. We might get a third one, and we've got a tractor box too. So all we do is haul bloody cattle about. So yeah, ideally I want a bit of straw in here, but it will be alright for the day. The calf's standing up, so I'll stand the calf at the back in a minute, and then the cow should walk straight up here. Right, it's not good. Go on. Go on, go on, go on. Ah. I've got to drive all the way around, take her back, because I can't usually reverse out here and reverse on that grass, but I'll sink and get stuck. So I've got to drive right the way around. It's quite a long way. Well, a long way. It's going to take me about 5.5 minutes. Don't ever complain, condemn or criticise anyone. Sincere appreciation is the way forward. Let me say that again. Don't, because it's so good. Don't complain, condemn or criticise no one at all. No one ever. Sincere appreciation. And if you do stuff like that, you get stuff done like this. I came in up on the spring unit, Tim. It's my job to sort the calves out, but this morning on a bank holiday Monday, he done all this for me. Newborn calves in there, ready to go. We can probably fit 15 in there. Teat feeder all washed out, ready to go. We're getting there now on the calving. Pretty much finished. It's the 1st of May, bank holiday Monday. I'm about to go and get the cows across the road, and me and Tim are going to milk together. Just want a bit of sun. No sun next week though. Can't see nothing this week. So, and then the weekend, the coronation is looking a little bit shite. But it is what it is. You've got to work with what you got. In this year, we're going to work with dull, horrible, wet weather, I reckon, all the way to the 2nd week of June, I think. Now, I've been saying in my early videos miles back, and I think it's coming right, it's going to rain all the way to first cut, end of May, and I think it is. Looking at the isobars in Gulf Streams, they're all up over Scotland, and then they'll come down in a hurry. That hot weather down in Spain is holding the bad weather up here. It's sending in like a flume of bad weather, and that is going to continue to probably the next full moon. Might not. We're going to get a few good days in between, but it's going to be wetter than dry. So we've got to work with what we got. I can imagine first cut is going to come in nice and bulky, but quite low energy because the sunlight is just not there. It is what it is. When I say stuff about the weather, I sound like a bit of a killjoy, but I think it's right. I think it's actually coming into place. And this year, you got to write years like this in your diary so you can look back on them. You know, don't write all the good stuff, write some bad stuff. And just about to get the cows across the road. That peas and barley's coming up well. The warm weather has pushed it on. If it don't grow, then nothing will grow, because that has had loads of muck on it. It's got plenty of moisture. This ground wants plenty of moisture. If we could be fussy, then we could do with a bit of sun on it, but I think it's gonna grow up and bulk up all right. Cows all lined up there. Got a lot of bullers coming on now. Usually this time of year, 1st of May, we start serving, but we're pushing it back 15 days. So this farm would benefit from cows calving a little bit later. So it's a slow starting farm. Some years it's all right. Some years, I say the 5 years I've been here, 3 of them would have benefited from a later calving. 2 years were pretty good. Last year was good for early calving, but I think overall, just 15 days later, that'll put us at about the 18th of February to start. So the bulk of our calves will be through March and April, and then especially with seasonality, we get knocked quite hard in May, and June we get knocked a little bit, but July onwards it goes up, and it goes up really steep because it's organic. So we want to make a bit more of that. There we go. Right, I'm going to get going. Give these calves some colostrum a minute. Just got a colostrum out. Nice thick creamy stuff. So this shed here is the deep litter shed where the cows lie in the winter. It's a big shed when he's empty. When he's full of straw and cows are in here, he don't look that big. Right, so I think they've had a fair go on their mums, but I'm going to try them out anyway. So the all year round calving unit, they seem to be tracking on alright down there. The cows are milking really well. They've only been out about 10 days. And they're back in now because it's really bloody wet. But we're still overflowing the tank. Now, them going out helped them do that, but they were milking really well anyway. We weren't far off that before they went out. We've just had a really good year down there milk-wise. Now, up here on the spring unit, a little bit different. Anyway, I thought the cows were milking quite well, but when I look back at the milk check, we are down about 30,000 litres on last year. So not too bad, but like considering the weather and all that. But this year, milk price is down about 13p. I think cake price is up 160 quid, and the cows are down on milk. We got less calves being fed because we're out of TB. Last year we shut down with TB, so we should be up on milk. So it's all a little bit shit really, but so we've got to have another plan, I reckon. And the other plan is the Barner price is good, and we've got quite a few big old Irish cows what are coming up like 8 or 9 years old, and some of them are milking well, some aren't. I can imagine that, like, because they're that age, they will dip on milk quite quickly. Come June, they'll start to lay off a little bit probably because they're that much older. So I thought about barning them off because that's making a good price. They're making a good price. They go off. It's still, like, even with these cows a little bit smaller than the cows down home, they're gonna make, you know, a handy £1,000. We've been getting good 1,000, like 900, well, like 850 to about 1158, I think we have for one. So say we sent on like 30 of them, and then we went off and bought some more cows, because the cows are actually fairly good price at the moment, milking cows. There's a few farm sales gone about, and they're all not too bad. You can pick up a cow 1350, 1450, that sort of price, quite good. So get some more cows in on this farm and push the milk. We'll push the milk on June, July, August. That's when the seasonality goes the other way, and that's when we want to send on a lot more milk here. We start serving the 15th of February, 15th of May, so we got till like the middle of August. So if we go off and get some, say next month, freshly calved or about to calve, it doesn't matter. It can't be too fussy because you've got to go with what you can get. Calve them in or start milking them, get the milk in the tank, get the milk up, get that price, because another thing is the milk price is looking better for the autumn, because it's definitely not going up now. They keep saying there's not a floor yet, and like, you know, hopefully that's it. One supplier we send the milk to's held the price for May, so that's a good sign. But we'll see, hopefully it doesn't go down too much more. So the milk price is shite, so if we're giving less litres, let's get rid of the shit cows, get some more cows in on the spring unit, push the milk further into the autumn. Hopefully they're falling block in calves still, because we're calving a little bit later next year. And if they don't, they can always go to another farm. So I think that's going to work. That's our plan B. That is what we're going to probably do in order to keep this farm going really strong. Instead of just, you know, because the milk could start, you know, they might have peaked out now, especially if it's wet and cold still. Well, like wet, just wet, and not much sunlight going into the next month, in that, like in the June, July or whatever. It could just bloody rain all summer, couldn't it? We ain't had a summer like this for probably 4 or 5 years. I don't think I've ever seen it really wet on this farm actually in the 5 years I've been here. So, you know, we are due one. It can easily, what's happened in the past can easily happen again. That's it. Well, we'll see anyway. But I think that's what we'd do going into on this farm anyway. Either all year round calving, in the autumn calving herd up there, tracking on alright. It seems to be going quite well out there. They're milking relatively well for autumn calving cows. Now they're out day and night, and then we'll see what calving goes like with them in the autumn. Got a good feed on their mothers, so get them on the teat. They usually go quite well. Look at that, straight on. First time on the teat, you're straight on. This one here shied off a bit, but I'll go and get her in a minute. G115 is back on the spring unit. This is our oldest tractor on the fleet. Been cleaning a few deep little sheds out this week and whatnot. So the blue one, what we had up here, the G125, that's got the auto steer and like sat nav and that has gone down because we've got more work on with it down there, like fertilising and whatnot. So that's I think that's on the autumn unit at the moment. So, and the straw chopper has gone from this farm too, because we don't do no straw and down anymore. So the only kit we actually got up here at the moment is a set of triple rollers in that tractor. And I think every other bit of kit, the rollers what we're rolling the peas and barley in, but they're now parked up, they go back down. In that, a bar of a yard scraper tractor. So we've got a yard scraper tractor and yard scraper, and we've got this tractor here, and we've got a Polaris Ranger, and that is the only kit we have got on the spring unit now. So yeah, that's how we keep it, you know, keep it all slimline and whatnot. The machines go off to another place. So the all year round calving unit and the autumn unit got a straw chopper each, because they still got a fair bit to do. We straw the calves down by hand because that's quite easy going. You don't need as much straw now. Now we've got like a drier environment. The spring unit and the autumn unit are all out day and night. It's a little bit tough going because of the wet weather, but they seem to have plenty of grass out in front of them. So that's one good thing, because those two farms are the two farms what are slightly short on silage. But this unit, the all year round calving unit, are back in day and night. Now what isn't the end of the world, because we've got two herds out, so pressure's off. But with this unit, they're in because the ground's too wet. They have been out by day for about a week and a half, I think, and then it got a little bit touch and go, so we brought them in. Now we weren't making too much of a mess, so it wasn't because of that, but it's just the cows, they weren't happy going out, and these cows are milking exceptionally well still, so we were in no hurry. But they seem to be settled in quite well. Little bit of blaring going on and whatnot, but it's not like the sun's out at all. So if the sun was shining, then you might have one or two blare, because some of these cows are used to going out day and night all the time, quite often through the year, because we have got some spring unit cows in this herd. But yeah, milking extremely well. They've milked well all winter, and all they're on now is silage, quite a lot of hay, a bale hay in each load of grub. We're doing 2 loads of grub a day. We feed all in the morning, not like in the morning and afternoon like we have been all winter, so they're still milking quite well. It is still not warm enough to take off my jacket. I usually do one whole winter with this jacket, a jacket like this, and I'm just about getting a bit threadborne, so hopefully it'll warm up before long and I can lob this one and not have two to get through the winter. This tractor here is just clocking up 500 hours now. It's our newest one. Seems to be tracking on alright. We've all got used to the gears and whatnot on it because he is a little bit different than our other one. Everything is the opposite way around on this one too inside, like the windscreen wipers and all that. So when you jump from one tractor to another, it is a little bit like, you know, messes with your head, but it's nothing we can't handle. We've got a new bucket coming for the front anytime. We've got a 7-footer instead of this 6-footer. He's a little bit deeper, a little bit longer. So no, we're happy with the way this one's going. It's a nice colour too. This is our second red one, but it's slightly different red to our G115. The G115 is slightly darker, but this is like your standard. If you're going to buy standard coloured Vulture, it's this one with the white wheels. Everything else is extra, metallic paint's extra, and if you want black wheels, it's extra. But he's been on that 3,000 gallon tanker, and he's been tracking on really well. Yeah, we're very pleased with this one. So what we could do with really is swap the G series out and get all N series. I don't know if it's just me or not, but the grass is looking a little bit yellowish now there. Got a nice bit of colour coming on, but yeah, I don't think the energy is in it because of the lack of sunlight. So what I think, and I hope it doesn't happen, is the first cut coming off is going to be a little bit low in energy. Because our sun doesn't seem to be coming out. It seems to be clouded over. We've only had like the odd afternoon, haven't we, where we've had decent sun. Like yesterday, the 28th of April, I think it is. I think it's the 29th or 30th. It's the 29th day actually. I just seen it on my little computer on the side there. 29th. And yeah, the actual sun, it's not pushing the grass on. Like, it's growing, but it's not like, you know, it should be dark green, and like we're not going to get that energy in the grass. I think the first cut's going to be a little bit drib and drab. We got another, I suppose, another 2 weeks till we have a proper decent long cut of silage. But we done a couple acres the other day, and I think, you know, I think this is a job. No, I don't think it will. I think it's going to be one of those years. But we'll see how it goes. So now all the young stock are out and just having a tidy up around the building. So we're not going to clean all the sheds out yet because we've got this pit full of muck. But as soon as we can get some decent weather, we'll get a lot of this muck out, get a lot of the sheds cleaned out, and then we can crack on with this like spring work. So we'll see how it goes.